So this is in comparison to Professor Gale and Prerna. I think it's a small portion of research, very specific aspect of ETD repositories. And I had plans to do a larger research, but because of this event, I couldn't give time to this research. So a small portion of that, and its very interesting findings are there. So I'll show you what I did. This is in the proceedings or in all other publications, you will see another part of this research that was implications in metadata interoperability and metadata harvesting. That part I couldn't see because I didn't have time. Sorry for that. But this much I am going to present, that what are the metadata schemes being used by ETD repositories that exist today. So I think a brief background foundation talk within 2-3 minutes for those who are not aware of OAI, PMH and metadata. So in context of digital contents, the contents are described with the help of metadata schemes, and there are set of elements in metadata schemes. And all the repositories who are willing to participate in metadata harvesting, that is through OAI PMH, Open Access Initiative Protocol for Metadata Harvesting, they have to follow unqualified Dublin Core metadata schemes. So this is mandated by OAI. If you want to share your data through OAI PMH, you have to expose your repository's data in the form of OAI DC. However, we all know that NDLTD recommends ETD MS metadata schemes for describing theses and dissertations. That is specifically designed for theses and dissertations. And I remember one similar thing I did for my master's dissertation in 2008. And at that time, I found 187 metadata schemes are there in use. 187. I was surprised. And out of those 187 metadata schemes, nearly 30 metadata schemes were used by more than 50 repositories. So I was thinking, what is the scenario in ETDs? So this is the thing I did, and that's what I'm going to present. So just to have a look how metadata schemes are extended, what are the possibilities in a small example. These are the sets of elements in Dublin Core, and that is metadata scheme described by ETDMS. So you can see there are 3 highlighted elements are there. These 2 elements are missing there, and that is additional metadata element. And the qualified Dublin Core is separate story. I'm not going to touch that part. So anybody, any agency, according to their need, they can add or extend simple Dublin Core to suit their requirement. That is the scenario. It's happening. Day by day, it's increasing. So the objective of the study, I already told you, to see the popularity of ETDMS among the ETD repositories that is existing, and also to see what are the other metadata schemes being used by them. Popularity here is defined as the number of repositories using that particular scheme. So when I thought of doing this, first thing was to go to NDLTD and find how many repositories are there. As an end user, as a student, I have used NDLTD since 2006, but as a researcher, when I went there, this was my scene, how to start. It's a big thing. So I thought, no, it's not better to start with NDLTD. It would be better to have a small population for this study. And for that, I chose OATD, Open Archive Thesis and Dissertation, that is available at oatd.org, which indexes nearly 3 million theses and dissertations from 470 repositories. So I took these 470 repositories as the population and sample of my study. Now, data collection, how I did this. One option was to go to each repository and see what are the metadata schemes they are using. And another option was to use the OAI PMH verb. Then I decided, as per the objective and very basis for existence of ETD repositories, I thought to do it with the help of machine, not doing manually, going one by one. So for that base URL, you might be aware of that. the repositories which are participating in OAI PMH, they have to expose their metadata and all other records on a web URL that is called base URL. That base URL is not meant for human beings. That is meant for machines, and machine gives a command that is called OAI PMH verb. And there are 6 verbs. Out of that, this verb list metadata formats. This verb gives the result in XML format, what are the different metadata schemes being used by a particular repository. So I used this verb, and I shoot the verb with the help of some programs in Linux, and automatically I defined to try for 3 times, not more than that. In 3 hits, if the repository is not responding, leave it and go to other repository. So the result summary, before coming to that, I'll just show you, this is the result of a command. If you shoot this verb on a base URL of repository, you will get results like this. So let's have a closer look on these results. This is XML, so I'm not going to talk in XML. Just one thing I have highlighted, the OAIDC, that is defined with XML elements called metadata prefix. So this was the portion which is taken by me, extracted from all these files for this study. And this I talked, and after 3 tries, I got 438 responses from out of 470. So rest of the repositories were sleeping or the network was sleeping, I have no idea. So that is beyond this aspect. So summary of the findings. The interesting part is, from 438 repositories, I got 2,797 instances of that XML metadata prefix, that is called metadata prefix, which defines the metadata scheme. So it means clearly that one repository is using multiple metadata schemes. That is for sure. Otherwise, we cannot get this result. When I tried to find out the unique metadata schemes from out of this more than 2,000, it is 121. Means out of these 438 repositories, 121 unique metadata schemes are being used. Now I cannot conclude that these are unique absolutely, because we will see the difference, but these are the metadata prefix. So the most popular ones. These are the most popular ones. OAIDC, it has to be, because it is mandated, it has to be. There is no way out. If you are sharing your data with any of the repositories, metadata harvesting, it would be there. Then METS, RDF, DIDL. Don't think that ETD MS is not here, so that is not very popular. It is not like that. Let me explain one limitation of this research. I didn't go into the type of the resource available in repositories. So many repositories are there which have thesis and dissertation as well as other resources. So ETDMS is used only to describe the thesis and dissertations. Other resources are described by any of the other metadata schemes. Okay. After this, now this is the final result. Exactly ETDMS metadata prefix I found at 131 repositories. The same thing has been also described as OAI ETDMS. Same elements, just the prefix name has been changed, same elements. Besides that, 6 more instances of the same metadata scheme with a different name. That's in description of metadata prefix. And other schemes are there. So just to have a look on what are the other metadata schemes, I have put all those in one slide just to have a look, not to read out. So these are the metadata schemes being used by these ETD repositories. One of the limitations I already explained you. There is one more limitation I could not achieve where there is no DC, means Dublin code is not there, how they are participating in OAI PMH and how the OAI PMH service providers are harvesting their data. I'll do in next part of this. After this conference, I'll definitely look into that, because OAI DC is the mandated minimum, least common multiple of the elements that must be there. So if it is not there, then what is there which is being harvested? That I'll look into that. And also, not only OATD, I'll try to get the base URLs from NDLTD, all the sources of NDLTD, if it is available. I couldn't spend much time. It was not easily available on the site, so I skipped. So these things I am planning in next part, or anybody can look into that. Thank you. Thanks a lot. If you have any query regarding this, I can take 1 or 2 questions. Else, thank you very much.
So just wait. See, this is a very technical presentation, and if you have any question, because he is leaving now. Anybody have any question or any any comment on what he has presented, and what I believe, because I come from a different background, only who has very closely worked with the ETD repositories can understand this properly. And he has made a very brief presentation, and the full text of the paper is not available. I think it is available, then it will be more useful to the participant. Yes. So if you don't have any questions, and I can allow Mr. Sunny to go out of this hall, and the next presenter is, you have a question. Please.
So you gave a couple of examples in the responses to the OAI prompt that included some of the responses were ETD, MS, that's the NDLTD profile for metadata, right?
Yes.
And there were 2 prefixes, just the base one, ETD, MS, and then OAI underscore.
Yeah,
but they're basically the same thing.
I told the same thing.
Yeah, I think
with the same elements.
Same elements.
Only description in metadata prefix, it was different.
Okay. So that makes that one the biggest single category if you put those 2 together. So, which was good. Thank you. I thought this was a very useful presentation.
As Mr. Sani is leaving, now I request our chairman, Professor Goswami, session chair, to present a memento to him.
Okay. This is very important.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we will continue this type of good work in the future also.